Colin Kaepernick's girlfriend posted a picture with rapper J. Cole, Colin, and herself on IG. Cole is wearing an I Know My Rights shirt, which is a part of Kaepernick's campaign to educate youth on their rights, empowering them as American citizens. Max, does this support from J. Cole help or hurt Cap?
Well, I think the more support, the better. I'm going to say help. This is what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wrote about. One of the things he wrote about in his article concerning Kaepernick and his situation is that it's incumbent upon other athletes also to show solidarity with Kaepernick, not to mention other conscientious people of, socially conscious people. And so here J. Cole is doing that. Good for J. Cole. But it's not exactly newsy like rapper supports Kaepernick isn't going to really? A rapper supports Kaepernick? If it was like rapper supports Trump or like Kurt Schilling supports Kaepernick or something like that, that would be news, right? Oh my God, look at that. It's not surprising and therefore I think less newsworthy, and yet it should be noted, and I think support is good. Right now, Kaepernick doesn't have a job that he is qualified for, more qualified than other candidates who actually hold those jobs, many of them, simply because of a protest. And if you really listen to the content of his protest, not all of it. You don't need to line item, like agree with everything down the list that he is standing, or rather in the past sitting or kneeling for. But much of it is indisputably not only true, but worthwhile. And so it's good that he is getting support. Good for J. Cole.
I'm not going to say it helps. But let me preface my comments by saying I applaud J. Cole for supporting him. I think Kaepernick deserves it, particularly at this moment in time. And I'm a huge fan of J. Cole. I think he's one of the best out there. I love his work. A lot of the songs I can't repeat on the air, but let's just say I love his work, and I'll just leave it at that because the brother's gifted. He's special. Having said all of that, even though I support him supporting Colin Kaepernick, I do think it's incumbent upon us all to recognize that it may not help because it may serve to alienate the powers that be from continuing to distance themselves from Colin Kaepernick. It may facilitate that, rather. And that's what it comes down to here. There's clearly a racial divide as it comes to this issue. You have a large segment of the white populace who interpret Colin Kaepernick's actions as being incredibly disrespectful to the flag and beyond, regardless of how erroneous that is, since his intent was about bringing attention to police brutality and racial inequality in this country, along with other things. But that's how they interpret it, albeit conveniently so. In the case of the black community, we obviously feel tremendously different about it. And so as a result, when you see the rap community stepping into the fray, I think that in some instances where it can be helpful when it comes to the NFL and the owners who have to make that decision, they haven't ingratiated themselves with the hip-hop community the way that the NBA has. This is Adam Silver in the NBA. It's an entirely different situation, and it's an entirely different take that they would probably have on it. The NFL, being number one in this league, having only 16 games a year, not worried about boycotts, not worried about people not watching or not patronizing their product. They get to sit on their pedestals, per se, their figurative pedestals, and decide to alienate folks or ostracize individuals like Colin Kaepernick at their discretion. And the rap community itself, regardless of how wise and smart and right J. Cole may be, it may serve to incentivize the owners to distance themselves from Kaepernick even more because they don't want that problem. It's pathetic and wrong, but I think that's the way they're going to think.
You might be right about that, but people, socially conscious people, celebrities and otherwise, that fact, maybe a fact, that idea shouldn't stop them from supporting Kaepernick, because the more support around him, the more the safer his protest was, and the more people will feel empowered to also speak up, which is important. It's healthy. It's important for our democracy. It's important for society. I agree with this. I'm
not disagreeing with that, Max.
Right, but
I'm not disagreeing with that.
You're saying it may be bad for Kaepernick because it can.
Now, I'm saying it may be bad for Kaepernick, Max, because their objective is to help him get a job back in the NFL. Their objective is not just about him making statements, not just about him expressing what's right, not just about him taking a public stance the way that it is. Their objective at this juncture is to get him back in the league. I'm saying that may work against him. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying it may work against him with these owners.
It doesn't work for him the way, let's say, if it was a white country music star doing it, that probably would help Kaepernick more. But I reject the idea that it hurts him somehow because there are those in the NFL who would look at an Urban Reed black artist and think, well, no, if that element is supporting him, then we're going to dig in our heels even more against him. That certainly shouldn't dissuade anyone from supporting him.
I reject it too, but it's all about what the objective is at this point. At this point, all of them want him back in the NFL. That's the objective, and it may not work.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
One thing's for sure, as far as getting his message out there, a guy like J. Cole with his platform will certainly help. Chris Brown, John Legend, Charlemagne, other guys helping to back this campaign that Colin's a part of.
No doubt.